Okay, so good evening. Okay, so let's discuss our new topic for today. So it's all about Newton's law of universal gravitation. Okay. So Newton law of universal gravity or gravitation. Gravity is the force of nature that attract one mass to another. So sabi dito, the gravity holds on the earth causes apple to fall as if the figure below accelerate the slender down excuse me, down the snowy slope. Diba? So sabi natin, di ba, pag sa gravity, every time kung ano ibabato nyo pataas, di ba, nagkakaroon siya ng free fall. Di ba? So, babato natin yung object pataas, tapos, syempre, automatically, it will free fall. Di ba? Kung gaano kataas yung pinato mo, syempre, ganun din yung kalakas magiging impact niya sa baba. Diba? So normally, sabi, kung gaano kataas mo siya binato, in distance niya do, same lang din yung distance niya pag bumaba siya. Okay, so same lang yun. So magkakaroon lang ng equal masses or equal distance between the two. Okay? Then the Newton's law of universal gravity on a larger scale, the gravity is responsible for the motion of the moon, the earth, and the other planets. To describe the force of gravity, Newton proposed the following law. Is the Newton law of universal gravitation. Sabi dito, the force of the gravity between any two objects with masses 1 and masses 2 separated by the distance is attractive and as the magnitude force given by. So ang formula daw natin para ma-compute ang gravitational force, we have the magnitude of the gravitational force is equivalent to G times mass 1 times mass 2 over the distance between the masses squared. Or this equivalent to the F equivalent to force equal to G M1 M2 over R squared. So ito yung formula natin to compute the gravitational force. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang mass. So normally ang mass natin is in kilogram. Okay, so that is in kilogram. Diba? Then the distance between the masses or distance natin is normally with M or in meter. Okay? Then syempre, ang force natin, unit of measurement for force natin is N. Okay? Then G is basically is a constant value. Okay? So pag sinabing constant value, the constant G is the equation referred to as the universal gravitational constant. Okay? So the numerical value of G is 6.67 times 10 raised to negative 11 Newton per meter squared over kilogram squared. So according to the Newton's law of gravity, all objects in the universe attract all other objects in the universe. In short, everything in the universe feels everything else. So basically, yung gravitational force ng bawat planet sa magkakaiba naman kasi yung gravitational force within the planet depende sa distance sila within the sun. Okay? Then, as shown in the figure below, Newton's law of gravity states that the force between two masses is directed along a line according to the masses. Both masses, the figure experience an attractive force of the same magnitude. Sabi nga natin kanina, kung gaano kalaya mo siya binato, gano'n din kalaya yung bagsak niya. Diba? So the force of gravity between two objects form an action-reaction pair. Okay? So due to the tiny numerical value of G, which is 0.0000067 Newton per meter squared, kilometer squared, gravity is the weakest form of nature. The force of gravity between objects of everyday size is imperceptible. It only becomes important for large objects such as planets and stars. So parang normal, di ba? Hindi natin napapansin masyado yung gravity, di ba? Kasi nasabi nga dito, siya yung pinakamahinang forces kasi mapapansin nyo, yung sa G natin for gravity raised to negative 11. Okay? So para maintindihan mabuti yung formula natin for the gravitational force, so ang formula natin for the gravitational force ay ito, Fg or G times M1 or mass 1 mass 2 over R squared. So kaya apply natin sila sa formula natin sa given equation o given problem. So ito siya, so force is equivalent to gravity mass 1 mass 2 over R squared. Okay? So let's try the following sample using the following formula. So sabi dito, two students are sitting 1.meter apart. One student has a mass of 70.0 kilogram and the other mass at 52.0 gram. So what is the gravitational force between them? So kaya apply natin siya using the given. So ano bing G natin? Sabi G daw natin ay constant which is 6.67 times 10 raised to negative 11. Yan. So i-apply natin yung formula. Yan. 6.67. So meron tayong 6.67 times 10 raised to negative 11 Newton per meter squared over kilogram squared. Yan. Times daw natin siya sa 70 kilogram times 52 kilogram. Yan, 52 kilogram. Divide the R squared, which is ano yung R squared natin? Ito yung 1.5 meter. Great. So what will be the force? So 6.67 times 10 raised to negative 11 Newton per meter squared over kilogram squared times 70 kilogram times 52 kilogram over 150 meter squared. So kung may calco kayo, pakilabas yung calculator at paki-solve. So 6.67 times 10, exponent natin ay negative 6.67 exponent negative 11 times 70 times 52. Divide natin sa 1.50 squared. So what will be the final answer? So the answer will be 1.079 okay, times 10 raised to negative 7. Okay? So kung ano nyo sa calculator nyo, so that will be the answer. So kung nakikita nyo yung sa calcu, okay? Yan. Kung napapansin nyo yan. Okay? So the value dito sa calcu ko ay 1.079055557 tapos may exponential na 10 raised to negative 7. So pwede nyo naman i-direct sa calculator yan. So may function naman sa calculator na exponent. So gagawin nyo lang 6.67 times, pipindutin nyo lang yung exponent function kung meron dyan sa ano nyo. Kasi makita sa screen. Wait lang. Ayan, kung nakikita nyo sa screen, ay ito yung sagot. Yan o. 1.79. Yan. 1.79. Yan. So parang kukunin nyo siya sa cellphone, sa calculator nyo. So pindutin lang muna natin 0.67. So meron dito kasi exponential function yung yung calculator. So yan, meron siya exponential function. Ayun o. Kung nakikita nyo, meron siyang yan, 10. So pindutin mo lang yan. Tapos yung exponent niya na -11. So automatically sa calc yung meron na siya. Ayun. Tapos times 2 na lang. So kaya nakuha natin yung 1.079 times 10 to the -7. So pwede mo na siya i-direct sa calculator. Then, so unit of measurement natin dito will become Newton. Okay, kasi makakancel natin tong meter squared tas Newton 10 kilogram. Okay? So i-apply lang naman natin yung bawat given based dun sa problem natin. Okay? Nasundan ba yun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so ang formula natin ay F, G, and mass 1, mass 2 over the distance which is squared. Okay, so dahil naka-force yan, so ang unit of measurement natin for force ay Newton, di ba? So i-apply lang natin yung formula na yan. Okay? So let's try another, number 2. Dito sabi number 2, a gravitational force, what gravitational force does the moon produce on the earth in its center? Are 3.88 times 10 raised to 8 meter apart, and the moon has the mass of 7.34 kilogram. So what will be the value? So the gravitational force does the moon produce on earth in the center are 3.88 times 10 to the -8 meter. So may meter na tayo, di ba? So meron tayong distance na 3.88 times 10 raised to 8. Diba? Tapos yung gravitational force natin is 0.67 times 10 -11. Tapos moon daw, may mass yung moon natin na 7.34 times 10 to the 22. Ano ba yung kulang?
Yung squared po nung nasa baba, meters.
So meron na tayong 6.67 and the moon has a mass of 7.34 times 10 to the squared. Tapos yung distance daw nila apart ay 3.88. So what will be the gravitational force? So what will be the given? So what will be the unknown?
Paano po yung square root yung nasa baba, sir? Yung naka-times 3.88?
Oo. Yun lang, i-apply mo lang sa times 2 mo lang. So 3.88 exponent mo 8. Yan, times 2. Ipilitin mo lang exponent dito, yung exponent function niya. So ilan yun? 3.88 exponent function mo 8. Yan, squared mo lang siya. So makuha mo is 1.0 15054 times 10 to the 17. Kung idadirect mo siya sa calculator. Ayan. So, pindutin mo lang 3.88. Ayan, 3.88. Tapos yung exponent na to, ayan, exponent. Papansin mo dyan, ayan, exponent. Then 8. 8 yan, oh. Exponent niya ay 8. Tapos, pag in-enter mo yan, automatic ilalabas na yung corresponding value niya. Yan. Tapos mo siya i-squared to the given value. Okay? Exponent 22. So, kaya i-ano nyo yung calculator. So, dapat may calculator kayo that, kasama. Okay, so yon. So, ano mga kulang natin? So, what the gravitational force that the moon produced on its Earth, it's their center are 3 moon apart and the moon has the mass of 7. So, kailangan natin ng dalawang mass, di ba? So, may mass na tayo ng moon. Ang kulang na lang natin, syempre, is yung mass ng Earth. Okay, so ang mass ng Earth, so we have 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11. Yan. Times, mass ng moon natin ay 7.34 10 to the squared. Yan. Yan, kilogram yan, di ba? Yan, kilogram. Times, yung mass ng Earth. So, ang mass ng Earth ay 5. So, kung nakasama yung mass ng Earth, 5.9722 times 10 to the 24. So, yun ang mass ng Earth, di ba? So, di-divide natin ngayon yan sa distance nila na 3.88 times 10 to the 8 squared. So, yan. So, kompleto na yung given. So, what will be the answer? So, 6.67 exponent ay negative 11 times 7.34 exponent natin ay 22. So, 22 pala ito. 22 times 5.9722 exponent ay 24. So, nakuha natin ay 2 ito yung nakuha nung pinag-times natin siya. So, nakuha ay 2.92. So, sabihin natin 2.92 times 10 to the 37. So, nakuha natin yon. Ito pa lang yung nasa taas yun. So, magiging ang sagot nito sa taas ay 2.92 times 10 to the, ayun, kung kita nyo, 10 to the 37. Divide natin siya sa 3.88 times to the 8 squared. So, nakuha natin dyan ay 1.50. Yeah, 1.50 times 10 to the 17. So, what will be the final answer? O sige. So, 2.92 to the 37 divide 1.50 times to the 17. So, the answer will become 1.94 times 10 to the 20 Newton. So this will be the final answer. Yan. 1.24 o 1.95, sabihin na natin, 1.95 times 10 to the 20. Yan. So hanapin nyo lang yung exponent function. Kung nakikita nyo yan, ayan o, yung exponent function at times to the 10. Pero wag yun na wag yun ng ano, wag yun ng ita-times. So pindutin nyo lang, bawa, pindutin nyo lang 2. Yan, 2.92. Ayan, 2.92. 2.92. Tapos yung exponent, yan, yung exponent. Tapos, pindutin nyo lang yung value na 37. Yan, so dapat ganyan sila sa calculator nyo. Kasi hindi makukuha. 2.92 times to the 37. Didivide nyo na yun sa 1.5. Tapos ganun lang ulit. So kaya nakuha yung 1.94 o 1.94667 times 10 to the 20 Newton. Okay. So dito sa number 2, in-apply natin yung mass ng Earth. Kasi meron lang ditong mass on the moon. Kasi ang distance daw between the Earth and the moon ay 3.88. So kailangan natin kunin yung mass ng Earth, which is 5.9722 times 10 to the 24. Okay? So yan po yung problem number 2. Okay, so sa problem number 3 naman, sabi dito, if the gravitational force between two objects of equal mass, so equal mass, is 2.30 times 10 to the negative 8 when the objects are 10 meter apart. So what is the mass of each object? Oh, so mass of each object daw. So formula natin, we have so di ba formula natin ay yan, it's equivalent to G. So M R squared. Diba? Eh, ang sabi dito, equal mass. So magiging F is equivalent to G M squared. M squared over R squared. Kasi equal mass daw sila, di ba? So ang formula natin na F is equivalent to G times mass 1 times mass 2 over R squared. Eh sabi sa formula, sa problem natin, if the gravitational force between objects of equal mass is 2.30 times 10 to the negative 8, so when the objects are 10 meter apart, so what is the mass of the object? Okay. So ngayon, so nakuha na natin to. Yan, nakuha na natin. So kailangan natin daw kunin yung mass. So itong M squared na to. Diba? So para mailabas natin yung M squared, so magiging F R squared. So cross multiplication yan. F R squared is equivalent to GM squared. Diba? So yan, so cross multiplication natin. So ang kailangan daw natin is yung mass. So divide both side by G. So para mawala dito yung G, ang maiwan is M squared. So mangyari ang formula natin magiging M squared is equivalent to F R squared over G. So kailangan natin mass of each object. So magiging M is equivalent to the square root of F R squared over the gravity. So yan na yung maging formula natin. So i-apply nyo na lang yung given. So ang original formula natin is F is equivalent to G times M1 and mass M2 over r squared. So sabi dyan, equal mass sila. So then mag-equal mass sila. So naging formula natin is naging F is equivalent to gm squared over r squared. So ang kailangan daw natin is mass. So para ma-cancel out natin si mass, so kinos multiplication natin. So nung kinos multiplication natin, so naging fr squared is equivalent to gm squared. So kailangan daw natin mass, so kailangan natin i-cancel out yung g. So divide both side by g, kaya nakuha natin m squared is equivalent to fr squared over g. Ang kailangan natin individual. So kailangan natin i-cancel out tong squared. So nakuha natin is yung m equal to the square root of fr squared over g. So what is the mass of each object? Sige nga po, paki-compute. So what will be the answer for that problem? So hinanap natin mass in mass of the object. So the mass should be kilogram. Okay, so paki-compute. So F natin is 2.30 times 10 to the negative 8 times mo siya sa 10 squared, di-divide siya sa 6.67 times 10 raised to negative 11. So what will be the final answer? Sige, magtatawag ako. Then, paki-solve.
Sir, pwede bang i-solve yan ng yung normal na calculus?
What do you mean normal calculus?
Yung mga exponential na po na yan, i-convert ko sa muna. Yung 0, 0, 0, ganun.
Pwede naman. Halimbawa, yung 2.30 times 10 to the negative 8. So, paano siya magiging negative 8? So, kailangan mo magdagdag ng, ilan? 8 0 katabi ng, 7 0 katabi ng 2. So, pwede naman yan. So, na-discuss naman sa inyo na kung paano mag-convert ng exponential. Diba? Kung paano siya magiging positive, then kung paano siya magiging negative. So, you know, if the gravitational force between the object of equal mass is 2.30 times 10 to the negative 8, when the objects are 10 meters apart, so what is the mass of this object? So nag-transpose na tayo from the original formula na F is equivalent to gm1 m2 over r squared is nakuha natin is yung m is equivalent to the square root of f r squared over g. So kung i-apply na natin sa formula, 2.30 times 10 to the negative 8 times 10 squared divide by 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11. I-divide nyo. Pag na-divide na siya, so kailangan nyo siyang i-square root. Then makukuha na natin yung mass in kilogram. Okay, so what will be your final answer? Sige, paki-compute. So, i-apply natin. So, di ba? So, 2.30 with the exponential of negative 8. So, ito yon. Exponential of negative 8. So, ayan. Ta-times mo daw siya sa 10 squared. So, ito yung nakukuha. Times daw sa 10 squared. Times 10 squared. So, ito yung makukuha nun sa taas. 2.3 times 10 to the 6. Didivide mo siya sa 6.67 raised to negative 11. So, ito na yung sagot, diba? Tapos, i-squared mo siya. I-square root mo siya. So the final answer will become 185.69533382 kilogram. O sabihin na natin, the final answer will become 186 kilogram. Okay? So yun po. So
Bali yung lumabas sir is yung 185.695335. Ilan po yung isasama ko lang dito? Parang masyadong marami.
So pwede mo naman siya i-round off ng 187.70, di ba? So 185.7, pwede 'yon. O pwede
Pwede.
mo na rin i-round off siya sa 186, wala namang problema kasi ang nakuha mo naman sagot ito, di ba?
Opo sir, yan din po.
Oh, so hindi pwede mo siya i-round off sa 185.7 or 186, pwede rin naman, wala namang problema 'yon.
Salamat po sir.
O, para kung nalilito ka, kung pagsasama mo, isama mo na lahat. Wala namang problema doon. Okay?
Sir, hindi po ba naka-scientific notation po?
Ha?
Naka-scientific notation po. Kahit
Hindi.
hindi na po, sir.
Ito na yung final answer eh. Mismo.
Okay, sir.
186 na siya. Oo.
Thank you.
Okay, next. Apat na lang tayo. Next. So the gravitational force between two objects are 2.1 times 10 raised to the negative 1 meter apart is 3.2 times negative 6 Newton. If the mass of the object is 55 kilogram, what is the mass of the other object? Mass naman daw of other object. So meron tayong isang mass lang. So hinahanap natin isa pa. So ang formula natin, di ba, F, G, sabihin natin mass 1, we have mass 2, over R squared. Diba? So meron tayong gravitational force. May mass 1 tayo. Diba? May Newton tayo. May force. Ayun, may mass tayo. Ang unang mass natin, 2.1. Yan, diba? Ito pa rin R natin. Ito yung R. May isang mass tayo, 55. So meron tayong Newton. So meron tayong given na F. Meron tayong G. Siyempre, G is constant, diba? May mass 1 tayo at may R squared. Ang kailangan natin ay M squared. Diba? So paano natin palalabasin ngayon si M squared? So, ganun pa rin, para palabas si M squared, siyempre cross multiplication. So we have F R squared. So pagsasamahin natin yan, di ba? Cross multiplication. Yan. Is equivalent to GM1 then GM2. So mass 1. So for example, meron tayong mass 1 55, di ba? So divide both side para makuha lang natin yung mass number 2. So divide both side by GM1. So pag divide both side by GM1, so makukuha natin ay FR squared divide sa GM1. So makukuha natin yung formula for mass 2. So ang formula for mass 2 ay yan. So cancel to, di ba? So makacancel si GM1, makacancel si GM1. So makuha natin ay FR2 over GM1 para sa mass. So yun na. So apply na lang natin yung formula natin. So ano yung mga given natin? So given natin na F, ano yung F natin? 3 0.2 times 10 to the 6. Yan. Times the distance. So times daw siya sa 2.1 times 10 raised to negative 1 squared. Na-squared mo pa siya. Over 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11 times 55 kilogram. So what is the final answer? So apply nyo sa calculator. 3.2 times 10 to the 6 times 2.1 times raised to negative 11 squared, negative 1 squared, over 6.67 times negative 11 over 55. Okay, so what will be your final answer? So what will be the value of the second mass? Sige po, paki-compute. So what will be the final answer? Okay, so magiging 3.2 times 10 to the times exponent 6 times 2.1 exponent negative 1 squared times 3.2 6 divide by 6.67 exponent negative 11 times 55. So the answer is 38.46 or 48. So wala naman din problema. So the answer is 38. Yan, 38.6. 38.468. Yan. Kilogram yung sagot. Okay? So 34 yun. So 34.680. 781 na lang yan. Okay? Kilogram yung sagot. So yun lang. So i-apply nyo lang yung value. Then, pag may mga unknown, so gagawin lang naman natin is cross multiplication. Okay? So the final answer is 38.46 kilogram. Okay? So susundan naman ako. Okay, next. So sabi, if two objects each with a mass of 2.10 kilogram produce a gravitational force between them is 3.7 times 10 to the negative 6 Newton. What is the distance between them? So ang hinahanap naman natin is distance. So yung r squared yung hinahanap. So meron tayong formula na F. We have the G mass 1 mass 2 over r squared. Diba? So ang hinahanap is distance. So r squared. Diba? So cross multiplication lang natin. Kukuha natin yung F. R squared divide equal to M mass 1 and mass 2. Di ba? So kailangan natin is R squared. So divide both side by F. Diba? So pag divide natin both side by F, makakancel si F. So may iwan si R. So ang formula natin is R is equivalent to GM1 mass 1 over the force, or kukunin natin yung square root ng R. So magiging R is equivalent to the square root of G mass 1 mass 2 over F. So dito, if two objects each with a mass, so ibig sabihin, parehas lang yung mass ng M1 tsaka ng M2 kasi ang word na ginamit natin ay each. So magiging 6.67 times raised to negative 11 times 2.0 times 10 to the 2 times 2.0 times 10 to the 2. Then divide lang natin sa 3.7 times 10 to the negative 6. So what will be the square root of R? So apply na lang sa calculator. So 6.67 raised to negative 11 times 2.0 raised to 2 times 2.0 raised to 2. Divide daw siya sa 3.7 with the negative exponent of 6 square. Square root yung answer. So ano yung makukuha nyong sagot? So using the following formula. So apply na lang yung 6.67 times 10 to the 11, 10 to the negative 11. Tapos each with a mass, so yung M1 tsaka M2 pareho lang 2.0. So each, kasi each yun na hindi isahan lang, each yun. So 6.67 raised to negative 11 times 2 raised to positive 2 times 2.0 raised to 2 divide 3.7 raised to negative 6. Tapos solve yun, then e squared. So ano makukuha natin value? What will be how many meter? How many meter? So it become, so nakuha, nag-send na. Okay, so the radius is 8.49164. So normally ibibigay naman sa inyo kung ano, kung ilang decimal places para pare-pareho na lang tayo. So pwede yung ano naman, yan 8.85 kung 2 decimal places kasi 849 or pwede yan 0.84, so wala naman yung problema yan. Okay? So yun. Okay po. So nakuha. So pwedeng 0.85, pwedeng 8.49. So okay yan. So, yan po. Yan. So nasusundan naman. So okay. So tuloy-tuloy lang natin yung mga sample. So what is the gravitational force acting of 70 kilogram object standing on the Earth's surface? So ito, parang formula lang natin for the force yan. So magiging F. Diba yung normal formula natin last time yan, Fg yan. So apply nyo na yan. So ang hinanap naman dito, gravitational force lang. So yung normal product, ano lang to, normal given. So object natin ng 7.0 kilogram yung meter natin. Then yung earth mass, ano ba yung earth na natin kanina? So 70 times Earth's surface, yung gravitational natin kanina. So meron tayong 70 kilogram standing on the Earth's surface. So what would be yung gravitational force natin?
Ay, 9.8 po ba sir?
That will be 9.8. So yan. So solve na natin. So 70 kilograms times 9.8. So ilan yan? So yung gravity natin, di ba, is 9.8. So, anong sagot? 70? 70 times 9.8. So, magiging 686 Newton. Ayun, 686 Newton. So, ganun lang yan po. Okay. So what is the gravitational force of an object 35 kilogram standing on the Earth's surface? You can use your answer from number 6 to reduce your calculation. So what is the gravitational force on a 35 kilogram object standing on the Earth's surface? So you can use your answer from number 6 to reduce your calculation. So parang ano lang yan, from 70 naging 35. So ilan lang yon? So magiging half. So ano yung half ng 686? 686 divided 2. So the answer is, so dito di ba 70, tapos naging 35. So you can use your answer from number 6 to reduce your calculation. So ibig sabihin, yung sagot natin dito kanina na 686 Newton, from 70 naging 35, i-divide mo lang siya sa 2. Divide mo siya sa 2. So magiging 343 Newton. So ganun lang. Okay? Kasi sabi 35 from 70. So you can use your answer from number 6 to reduce your calculation. Okay? So what is the gravitational force from a 70 kilogram that is 6.38 times 10 to the 6 meter above the Earth's surface? You can use your answer from number 6 to reduce your calculation. So yun din. So what will be your final answer? So i-apply lang natin yung mga ano natin kanina. So ano yung magiging sagot? So what is the gravitational force na 70 kilogram that is 6.38 times 10 to the 6 meter above the Earth's surface? So what would be the force? Di ba sagot natin sa number 6 kanina, ilan yun? Isagot natin sa number 6, di ba, ay 686 Newton. So, ano yung makukuha natin sagot? So, kung ang formula natin ay F G MM R squared, di ba? So, nakuha natin yung kanina na 686 Newton. Di ba? Yung sabi, you can use your answer yung kanina. So, kukuha tayo ng panibagong gravitational force. Magiging, ito yung F1. So, ito yung F2 natin. So, F2 will become GMM over 2R. So, naulit lang siya. 2R over squared. O, which is equivalent to 4. So, magiging 4 yung R natin. Diba? So, magiging 686 Newton. So, divide nyo sa distance natin. So, 2R. So, ilan yan? So, 2R. So, 2 times 6.38. So, yan ang makukuha natin sagot. 6.38. So 2R, so magiging 4R. Diba? So magiging 686 divided 4. So the final answer will become 172 o 171.5. So you can use your answer from number 6 to reduce your calculation. So dito nangyari 2 beses natin ginamit yung R natin sa taas. So kaya nagiging 4. So i-divide mo na lang tong 686 ng 4 na beses dun sa distance na binigay. Okay? Last run na. So to make it short, to summarize our topic, so ang formula lang natin ay F G mass 1 mass 2 over R squared. Okay? So kapag unknown, paghahanapin natin yung meter or distance, so kailangan natin, ito yung formula natin for distance. Yan. So magiging G M1 M2 over F. Yan. So kapag hanapan naman natin yung mass, yan, paghahanapin natin yung mass, so anong formula natin paghahanapin si mass? So ganun lang din, to square root ng F R square over G. Yan. So original formula natin ay F is equivalent to G M1 mass 1 mass 2 over R squared. So paghahanapan naman natin yung distance, so distance natin is equivalent to 6, equivalent to square root of GM1 M2 over F. Tapos pag mass naman ang hahanapin natin, we have square root of FR squared over G, which is G is constant, which is 6.67 times 10 raised to negative 11. Diba? Then, ang Earth surface naman natin, ang Earth surface ay 5.98 times 10 to the 24. Okay? Then, yung gravitational force natin kanina for the Earth, we have 9.80. Okay? So, yun yung mga tatandaan lang natin. So, which is lalagay ko naman sa nasa PowerPoint naman yung mga content na ilalagay natin. Okay? So, ito po yung mga formula natin using the gravitational law ni Newton. Okay, so may mga ibang sample naman dito sa sa slide. So mamaya upload ko. So nandito na yung mga ibang formula na kailangan na natin gamitin. So yan. Okay. Yan yung mga kanina. Okay. So mag-upload ako ng mga yung mga notes natin later on after this one. Okay. So may tanong po ba?
Yung ano lang sir, yung naging 2R kanina.
So meron tayong FG1 kanina, yung unang ginamit natin, di ba? FG1 equivalent to GM mm. Yan. Over r squared. Diba? So, nakuha natin yung 686 Newton. Diba? So, sabi, gamitin daw natin siya para makuha natin yung calculation. So, nangyari, na-double yung distance nila. Diba? So, na-double daw yung distance dun sa baba. So, na-double yung distance natin. So, yan. So, yung distance natin na kanina na 686, yan. I-divide natin siya sa 2 squared na distance na natin ngayon. So, magiging 4. So, kaya naging 686 divide 4 ay ilan? So, yun yung magiging sagot natin kanina. So, nakuha natin niya ay 172. Kasi may distance na tayo dito, di ba? So, magdodoble lang siya. So, kaya naging 2 raised to 2 na lang siya. Yan. So, kasi yung given natin kanina na 686, yun na yung gagamitin natin for the Newton. Then, di-divide mo na siya sa 4. Yan. Kasi double the distance lang siya. So, nakuha natin ay 172.
Yun sir, salamat po. Nasunod.
So, may question pa po ba? So, if there's no question, so maya-maya i-upload ko yung slide. So, dadagdagan ko lang siya na may mga ibang points na mga ginamit natin. For example, yung gravitational force, no, surface for the earth. So, yung dadagdag ko na lang siya later doon sa taas. Okay? So, may question pa po ba?
Wala na po ata sir. Nakasunod naman po.
Okay, so if there's no question, so that will be all for today. So kita na lang tayo ulit by Wednesday. Okay po.